Okay, so I'm recording this video because of the fact that it is very maddening that people think that illegals should be able to get any kind of amnesty they want. They should be able to do what they want. And, people are saying, well, immigrants contribute to this country. Well, legal immigrants contribute to this country, but ones who are illegal, ones who come across the border without permission, those immigrants do not contribute. All they are doing is taking from society. And when you look at Wikipedia, when you go to that source and you look for immigration to Mexico, it states the following: illegal entry into the country, and this is talking about Mexico. Illegal entry into the country is equivalent to a felony, punishable by 2 years imprisonment. Re-entry after deportation is punishable by 10 years imprisonment. Law enforcement officials at all levels, by national mandate, must cooperate to enforce. Then it says, see more immigration laws, including alien arrests and deportations. In cases of flagrant or flagrante delicto, however it's said, any person may arrest the offender and his accomplices, turning them over without delay to the nearest authorities. Article 16 of the Constitution of Mexico, also known as citizen's arrest. So, our law, it mentions that you have to have paperwork, and as people have also stated, it's not difficult to carry paperwork. I carry my Social Security card and my identification in my wallet so that when I look for a job or when I am required to provide that information, I have it readily available. Whenever I got pulled over, I had to have my driver's license. Uh, Posting on a Pat Buchanan website mentioned that um, it used to be required that one would have to carry uh, uh, their draft cards. Um, that was a requirement. Nobody, I mean, there were uproars of people against the war who burned their draft cards, but from what I understand, there was no other uproar about it. People weren't saying, well, gee, I don't want to have to carry something like that. I mean, and in another video mentioned that, you know, it, there's documentation of everything from when you're born until, your current point in life. And I mean, we need to have laws and have them enforced. And asking any kind of immigrant to come here legally is not a lot to ask. And those who do come here legally, they are willing to show their love for this country. They still may love the country they come from because, well, you can't get rid of what's in your heart, as far as your love of a land. I currently live in Texas, but I still love Arizona. I grew up there; it's a part of me. But I love Texas. I'm happy to be now considered a Texan since I live here. So it comes down to the fact that, if you love someplace, you are willing to follow the laws, you're willing to do as they ask you to do, and not make yourself a menace to society, but actually be a contributor to society in some useful way. And with the best thing about this law is the self-deportation, which is one thing that the law was designed to do. Rather than have a rather than be having to be asked for your citizenship, and if you can't provide it and you are an illegal, you are asked to leave. What this does is you leave on your own, and there have been some that have already left on their own. Channel 15 in Arizona has mention of a illegal immigrant who realizes the law had to happen, and it is fine with leaving. And what's interesting is the person that they interviewed spoke very good English as if he was born here. And you would never, he does not appear to be a troublemaker. He wouldn't, you know, see him as what people would stereotype an illegal to be, because no one knows what an illegal looks like. An illegal is someone who does not have proof of their right to be somewhere. And for all these people that want to say, well, how can it be trespassing? Well, why don't people just go onto those people's property that they own a house, and go and just squat right down on their property, and when they're asked to leave, say no. And when the cops show up, do what these stupid radicals are doing, and you know, say, hey, you're bothering me, you're harassing me, you're threatening me. And then see just how aggravating it could be when somebody comes into your land, into your property, and disrupts your system and is not willing to leave. And even if they are acting peacefully, still leave. You were not asked to come here. You were not invited to come here. There are people who come here that are refugees and whatnot. There are certain cases where it's acceptable, but giving amnesty, giving work visas to the people that have already been here, no, that's not good. What we need to do is we need to have these people follow the law. There's one couple where the gentleman had left and self-deported himself, and he's eligible for reentry application in 10 years, and they're hoping to get it cut down to 5. Well, I support people who leave willingly because of the fact that, yeah, you realize you committed a wrong and now you're willing to go do it the right way. The line may be long and the process may be tiring, but it is what it is, and it should not change. The law, the federal immigration law, has been in effect for a number of, just, I don't know exactly when it was put into place. I just know that I read where it was like 1940. All I know is we have laws, and regardless of what people say about the white men taking it from the Indians and it used to be Mexican land and everything else, well, it is what it is right now. We have laws that protect this land, and if we don't enforce those laws and don't protect this land, then it's going to be chaos. And it's not my fault that your family is being broken up. It's not my fault that you have to leave. You're the one that broke the law. You're the one that came here knowing you were doing wrong. And as I've used it as an example, and one lady who is an immigrant from Mexico that came here legally used it as an example in a YouTube video. If somebody robs a bank for the betterment of their family, well, guess what? They committed a crime and they should be punished and put in jail. So where is immigration any different? I mean, if you're coming here illegally and you're saying that you're just doing it to better your life, well, bank robbery is bettering your life. Running a red light is bettering your life. You know, some people could defend all kinds of laws that are broken as bettering one's life. And the Pinal County Sheriff's deputy that got shot the other day, if somebody could have made contact with those individuals in a lawful manner with this law in place, they could have prevented the tragedy, because they could have found the AK-47 and they could have said, what the hell are you doing with this? And they would have had to have a really good reason, because you don't just see anybody walking down the street, minus the idiot that did it last year with the visit from Obama. You don't just see anybody walking down the street with an AK-47. That's just, that stands out. And to be quite honest, that would be lawful contact. Like, okay, this person's got an AK-47. Why do they have an AK-47? And what do they plan on doing with it? I mean, and like Sheriff Joe said, you get pulled over and you are asked for your legal permission to be driving or doing what you're doing. If you can't provide that legal information, then there's going to be further investigation. That further investigation is going to reveal that you're not here legally. Therefore, you will be detained properly. And as I said, all we do is give people a ride home. How the hell is that uncivil? I mean, we don't even have to do that, but we do it because we're nice like that.